Okay, so what if I told you that the secret to absolutely acing your next big test isn't to slow down and be more careful? What if it's the exact opposite? Today, we're going to break down this really counterintuitive strategy. It's called the velocity method, and it's all about making speed your ultimate weapon.
So let me just start with a question that might sound a little crazy. For our entire lives, we've been told, go back and check your work, right? But what if that advice, as well-meaning as it is actually the reason you keep missing your own mistakes? What if it's just fundamentally flawed?
You can really see the difference in mindset here. The old way is all about being slow, being careful, and then doing a quick scan of your answers. But the new way, the velocity method, is totally different. It's about intentionally speeding up just so you can finish early enough to redo the entire test from scratch. And that is the whole game.
And let's be real, we've all been there. You get a test back and you see those silly, careless mistakes and you just want to kick yourself. You know you checked your work, so how did you miss them? It's this super frustrating cycle, but there's actually a really clear psychological reason why it keeps happening.
So this is where the velocity method comes in to save the day. It's a strategy built on a pretty simple idea. Use speed to literally manufacture enough time to take the test twice in one sitting. You're not just reviewing what you've already done, you are creating a completely fresh second attempt. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This is why it works. The only way to truly catch your own errors is by forcing your brain to look at the problem with fresh eyes. You have to solve it again, completely free from the bias of your first try. A simple review just can't do that. Okay, let's break down the psychology here, because this is fascinating. Why does just reviewing fail us so often? Well, first off, your brain is wired for confirmation. It wants to see what it expects to see, not what's actually on the page. You just end up following the same broken logic that led to the mistake in the first place. All it really does is create this false sense of security. The only true check is a fresh start. So how do you actually pull this off? It boils down to these 4 steps. We'll call it the redo doctrine. Step 1. Your first pass is a sprint. Seriously, go as fast as you possibly can. The goal is to finish early. Then you reset. Put your first answers aside, take a deep breath, and start over with a blank slate. Your second pass is a complete, from-the-ground-up redo of every single problem. You don't even look at your first answers until the very end when you compare the two. Any place they don't match up? Bam, that's a red flag. That's where you focus your energy. Now I know what you're thinking. How in the world am I supposed to finish a test fast enough to do it all again? Well, the answer is using what we call cheat codes. And no, it's not actually cheating. These are just really smart, simple techniques that let you solve what look like complicated problems with incredible speed. They're the key that unlocks all that extra time. Here's a perfect example. You get a complex algebra problem. The traditional way is to grind it out, solve for x and y. It takes 2, maybe 3 minutes. But the cheat code approach? Just plug in simple numbers, like 2 or 3 for the variables, and see which answer choice works. I mean, look at that time difference. What took minutes now takes like 30 seconds. It's a game changer.
And you have to remember, the goal here isn't just about being fast for the sake of being fast. It's strategic. You're using that speed to buy yourself the most valuable thing you can have on any test, a complete second chance.
So let's recap your new toolkit. First, you have to start thinking of speed as your best friend, not your enemy. Second, your main mission is to finish early enough to start all over again. Third, you got to be actively hunting for those opportunities to use cheat codes to build up your time. And last, and maybe most important, you have to learn to trust a fresh second pass way more than you trust a quick, biased review.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. The velocity method is so powerful because it dares to break a rule we've been taught our whole lives. And that kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other rules, what other pieces of conventional wisdom are you following in your life that are just waiting to be shattered for a much, much better result?